What's up, North County? I'm your host, Randy Doty, and today we are talking Sheriff Rodeo with Commander Chad Nicholson, and we got Katie Pascoe in the house. Welcome, guys.
Hi.
Thanks for having us, Randy.
Yeah, you bet. So first, Chad, let's talk about the Sheriff Rodeo. So fill me in on what has happened. What do we got going on with this?
So as you know, the Sheriff's Rodeo is coming up May 13th at the Pascoe Event Center. It's shaping up to be a great event. Last year was our inaugural year and our inaugural rodeo, and this is our second year, and things are just, progressing to be a very good event. Like we've stated before, we're adding bull riding this year and some other events to it. Premier Ag, one of our premier sponsors, has been phenomenal in organizing the bull riding for us. We have a lot of PBR riders that are coming to ride bulls that night, PBR stock. It's not a PBR sanctioned event, but a lot of their competitors from that. And then world champion bullfighter Alex McWilliams is going to be there fighting bulls that evening and keeping our cowboys safe, and just a lot of excitement around the rodeo. So
wow.
we're excited. And then we have a great concert afterwards from Fillmore, who's a very good up-and-coming artist out of Nashville that's flying out for it, him and his band, and it's going to be a fun event.
Very awesome. Mm-hmm. And so today you brought Katie with you. So Katie, welcome.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about Katie.
Okay, well, I am local. I'm from Morro Bay. I grew up on my family's ranch there in Morro Bay off of Highway 1. I'm a third-generation rodeo athlete. My dad and my grandfather are both world champion steer wrestlers. My mom still barrel races professionally to this day.
Nice.
My sister has been involved with professional rodeo. We kind of, grew up junior rodeo, high school rodeo, college rodeo, went up through the ranks. My husband is a professional steer wrestler as well, so it's kind of keeping it all in the family. I've barrel raced in the Women's Professional Rodeo Association for basically since I was 18 years old when you could join.
Wow.
And yeah, I've actually just finished serving on the board for the Women's Professional Rodeo Association for the past 3 years. So kind of all things barrel racing here lately, a huge part of my life.
So when you say professional, what does that mean? Do you go to certain events only, or
not necessarily only, sorry to cut you off, but we have the Women's Professional Rodeo Association, which is the counterpart to the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association. So it's just your professional organization. We attend, amateur rodeos, jackpots, barrel races. I've kind of made I don't call it a career, but out of raising and training barrel racing horses and competing on those horses.
Oh.
So then, for me, and because of how I grew up, and I grew up going to the rodeos with my parents, that was kind of a logical step for me after college rodeo to progress onto the professional rodeo ranks or whatever.
So my curiosity with the horses in barrel racing. So I know a few barrel racers, and their horses turn, they turn left, but some turn right. And it's like, how do you get, on a horse, does the horse just tell you, hey, I'm a left turner, I'm a right turner? Can you train it to do either or?
You can. You can do, so you either make one right turn and two left turns, or you start out and you make one left turn and two right turns to complete the cloverleaf pattern. Obviously, as you know, it's a horse race, so it's a speed event. So part of training a barrel horse is figuring out how they can do that, in the quickest way possible. So people are right or left-handed. A lot of times when you're riding a horse around, they might have a tendency, they might feel more, we call it right or left-handed. So their right-hand turns might feel easier for them, smoother for them. So if that's the case, you want them to make two right-hand turns as opposed to if they feel smoother to the left. And I'd say the majority of horses tend to go to the right barrel first and then make two left-hand turns. But you do have the occasional left-hand barrel first, which I guess you would, kind of say is your lefty. Left-handed people are I feel like a little more rare than right-handed people.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so on a time, what's like the fastest time you've seen ran?
Seen in person. So we have what's called a standard pattern in barrel racing. It depends on the size of the arena, whether you can set that up or not. It's it's kind of a good unit of measurement to see what a barrel horse, to measure their talent level, but how you have your standard pattern. I think now the world record on that is something like 16.3 3 seconds. It might be, I think it's a little faster than that, so I'll probably get corrected on that. But
Wow.
me personally, I've seen a 16.6 run on a standard pattern. My fastest time on a standard pattern is 16.8. Anything in the 16s is super, super fast.
That's
And
pretty
then
fast.
Generally, you hope to be like in the lower 17s. That's also considered very fast.
Wow, very cool. Chad, have you ever barrel raced? Does
No,
guys
I
barrel
haven't.
race? I don't know.
No, I just
Sheriff's
watched
barrel
them.
race.
Here you go.
I think the sheriff might enjoy that. We'll see if you.
Well, you could do that with a SWAT team.
There you go. I like that.
Yes.
With like stick horses. Yeah. I think we're on to something here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, Katie, you are now in charge of the barrel racing qualifiers, correct?
Correct. There's one qualifier. I'm super excited to be involved with the Sheriff's Rodeo in this very, very small way, but we're having the qualifying barrel race, which is open to anyone who wants to enter. And it's going to be on May 10th at a venue called A&B Ranch. It's on Buena Vista Drive in Paso Robles. May 10th, it's in the evening. So it starts from 4 to 6 p.m. We have what we call time onlys, which are also known as exhibitions. So people can, bring their horses, show them the arena, show them the pattern, kind of get a feel for what that's like. And then the actual barrel race itself starts at 6:30.
And obviously judges, or how does that work?
All on time.
Okay.
And then, so we have what are called electric eyes, and it's basically a laser beam that runs from each side of the arena, and the horse breaks that beam with usually with its nose while it's running, and that starts the time at the very beginning of the pattern. And then when they come back, they break it again, and it stops the time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And do you have a limit of how many barrel racers that you're bringing on to the actual rodeo event?
Right, so the top 10 times, so
Okay.
fastest, starting with fastest on down to the top 10 times are going to be invited to compete at the Sheriff's Rodeo.
Now, Chad, from last year's winners, do they get any type of pass through to this year's event? Or is
No, the slate is wiped clean, and then they got to come back and qualify and then be in the top 10 again, and so like Katie was saying, we'll see who can, turn out that night and at least show up and qualify for it. But last year was a little tricky too. There was a lot of other events going on, and we had it on a weekend a couple weeks prior. This year we're obviously doing it 3 days before the event, during the week in the evening. So hopefully we can get a decent turnout, and then ultimately we'll take the top 10, and then the slate will be wiped clean when they go to the rodeo finals on May 13th, and then they will compete for additional added money that night and their prize line package.
So, Katie, another curiosity I have is, are you going to be competing?
I think so. I plan to compete at the qualifier. And
Okay.
then, I guess we'll see after that.
All right. Well, hopefully you make it.
I would like that.
But so even kids as young as 12 years old is competing against anybody. I mean, there's no age.
There's no age
in barrel
limit. We
racing.
have some awesome youth barrel racers in our area. We have a lot of really good horsepower in this area, Central Coast, California. It's always really cool to me to see, kids compete. And I would say there's a high probability that we'll get to see some kids competing at the Sheriff's Rodeo.
And a lot of local kids.
A lot of local kids,
I mean, we've had some on here that, these
Amazing. Yeah.
kids are this big.
Yeah.
And Randy, that plays into what we were talking about before on some of the previous episodes of why we built the rodeo the way we did, is because it gives everybody an opportunity to compete, to qualify for our finals and compete in front of the fans in a sold out arena and so on. And the barrel race is another great example of that. So you can have professional barrel racers like Katie, who are, in the top 20 or 25 in the world year after year, or you could have a local child to show up and do very, very well and qualify for it as well. So, we don't limit it to just professional men or women. It's kind of open to anybody.
And I think that part of it is cool because, as you said, and as we know, we have a lot of, athletes, youth athletes that are in barrel racing, steer wrestling, roping, all that stuff, right, just right here, as we see many, many times up there at the Paso Robles Event Center. So you're giving them that showcase, that platform to go out there and compete locally without traveling, far away to go do it amongst other town. You get to compete right in your backyard.
Absolutely.
So that's really awesome. So, Chad, once again, tell me one more time, what do we got going on? What time? How do we get tickets? Tell me about the ticket
Okay, so May 13th, the rodeo starts at 6 p.m. at the Paso Robles Event Center. We encourage everybody to buy tickets ahead of time if you can, because there's a limited capacity in the outdoor event center arena there of about 7,000. We're pretty confident that we're going to get close to, if not sell that out this year. Last year we had between 4,000 and 5,000 spectators for our inaugural year. So they could go to our website, which is SLOsheriffsrodeo.com, and there's a link on there to buy tickets through Eventbrite. You can go directly to the Eventbrite website and just search SLOsheriffsrodeo.com. But Eventbrite is our ticket handling agency. So please go on there and purchase them ahead of time. Tickets are only $10 for adults. Children 12 and under are free. Even if you have a child that's 12 or under and they're free, they still need to get a ticket. There's a free ticket option on there because we have to account for everybody that comes through the gate and try and get an attendance count ahead of time. So yeah, it's going to be a phenomenal event. Like we had said before, we're just trying to, promote community togetherness, the Western way of life, the sport of rodeo, and it's a fundraiser for our Sheriff's Advisory Foundation, which purchases equipment for all law enforcement agencies in the county. As you guys know, we go through budget season every single year. The county does, and all of these, municipalities, and there's certain things that cities can and cannot, purchase for their police departments through taxpayer money. So if there's other things that they need that it can't be bought with, their own funding, then we'll help them out from our advisory foundation. So that's what the proceeds go to. But really, we just want the public to come out and have a great event and celebrate law enforcement and the sport of rodeo.
Awesome. Well, What's Up North County is looking forward to broadcasting that thing for you guys too.
It's going to be exciting.
So super exciting. Awesome. Chad,
all right.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Katie, thank you so much. Really enjoyed listening to you, and I can't wait to watch you out there.
Hopefully.
So there you have it, guys. Thanks again. Well, there you have it, guys. Thanks for tuning in to What's Up North County, and make sure you get out there May 13th to the Sheriff Rodeo. You do not want to miss this, and you want to get your tickets early. But guys, we can't do this without our sponsors. We got Escalar Wines, Wine Travelers Hideaway, Rancho Cestero Meat Cutting, Visit Atascadero, 805 Customs, Story Termite and Pest Control, El Red Rooster, 805 Pacific 805 Spas, Airflow Filter Services, Kennedy Club Fitness, Amy and Jamie's Place, and Paso Robles Furniture, guys. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.